Okay, name a location of the vascular sensory receptor that affects thirst sensation. Name a location of the vascular, VASCULAR, vascular sensory receptor that affects the thirst sensation. Thirst as in thirsty. Yeah. Yeah, a vascular sensory location.
The location is in the hypothalamus, the osmoreceptors.
Slowly, please.
The osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus.
Answer is wrong. Yes.
AV3V region.
Say that slowly.
AV3V region.
AV.
3V region.
Where is that?
The OVLT and the SFO.
Answer is wrong. Yeah, okay. This is a vascular sensory receptor, blood vessel receptor. So we're talking about the volume sensors. So the volume receptors, either the volume sensors, the volume receptors in the veins and all that. Yeah. Okay. We're not talking about thirst osmoreceptors. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Your second question to you. Yeah. What is the effect? Audience, please. Yeah. What is the effect of the anabolic growth hormone on plasma fatty acids and plasma glucose? What is the effect of the anabolic growth hormone on plasma fatty acids and plasma glucose?
It increases the free fatty acids in the blood and the glucose levels in the blood.
Both increase?
Yes.
Both increase fatty acid and both in glucose. Is that your answer?
Yes.
Correct. Okay, your question, CSU, Central South University. Along the ECG, electrocardiograph, when does the aortic valve closes? Along the ECG, when does the aortic valve closes?
Sorry, sir, would you mind repeat?
One last time. Audience, please. I hear some answers. Okay, please. Along the ECG, when does the aortic valve closes? Okay.
Just after the QRS wave.
Slowly.
After the QRS wave.
Answer is wrong. Yeah. This is when does the aortic valve closes. That's the beginning of diastole. So it's after the T wave. Yeah. Okay. Your question. Fourth question. Okay. The alveolar air partial pressure of CO2 is dependent on the ratio of two parameters. State the two parameters. The alveolar air partial pressure of CO2 is dependent on the ratio of two parameters. State the two parameters.
The rate of diffusion, rate of ventilation, and the concentration of carbon dioxide, the content, carbon dioxide content.
Answer is wrong. Yes.
The rate of the ventilation and the rate of CO2 in the pulmonary artery.
Say that again, slowly.
The rate of the ventilation. We increase the ventilation, increasing the ventilation decreases the CO2. And increasing the production of CO2 by the blood increases the CO2.
Correct, yeah. Yeah. This is your alveolar ventilation equation. So it's the rate of carbon dioxide production over the alveolar ventilation. Yeah. fifth question in this cycle. 2 short answers, just tell us the effect. How does sympathetic activity to the veins, VEINS, affect 1, venous compliance, 2, venous capacitance? How does the sympathetic activity to the veins affect 1, venous compliance, and 2, the venous capacitance?
Both of them decreases.
Thank you. Correct. Okay, second cycle. Good, yeah. Okay, your question is, yeah. Are you enjoying your stay here? Yes. This is the wrong time to ask such question here. Okay, what are the 2 ways by which the brain increases the force of skeletal muscle contraction? What are the 2 ways by which the brain increases the force of skeletal muscle contraction? Yeah. Name the 2 ways by which the brain increases the force of skeletal muscle contraction.
Increase the sympathetic outflow.
Put your mic there.
It's first increase the sympathetic outflow
Sympathetic outflow, do you say?
to the skeletal muscle, so it increases contraction and decreases parasympathetic.
Answer is wrong.
First of all, I think the brain itself can recruit more motor unit, and second, it could improve the signal itself.
The first one is
You could recruit more.
Second
motor.
one?
You could exchange the signal itself.
what cell?
The signal.
Signal cell.
Yeah, signal itself that you brain narrate the muscle.
Can you just simplify the second part? Signal cell. Yeah.
As far as we know that the brain itself could
Slowly,
control the.
Slowly. Can you
Of
answer
course,
slowly?
I can. As far as we know, the brain itself could innervate the movement of the skeletal muscle by some signals, especially the stimulus like action potential transmission, and this itself could be changed during if you want to change it.
How does it change? Professor Susan asked.
For example, the frequency of the stimulus could, yeah.
Okay, that's correct. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, it's one is recruitment of motor units, and the second one is increased frequency of action potential. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, okay. So where are we now? Oh yeah. Sorry, you answered the question. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Okay. Second question. State how a voluntary hyperventilation, okay, might affect cerebral blood flow. State how a voluntary hyperventilation might affect cerebral blood flow.
Hyperventilation decreases the amount of the partial pressure of the carbon dioxide in the blood. The blood flow to the brain decreases as the less carbon dioxide is there in the blood, and simultaneously more oxygen is provided to the brain tissue.
So do you say decrease blood flow? Do you say decrease? Less blood flow. How does it occur?
Means vasoconstriction.
By? How does the vasoconstriction occur?
Autoregulation.
Autoregulation? Okay, if you can just, for the sake of the judges, just repeat your answer as briefly as possible. Okay? how does voluntary hyperventilation affect cerebral blood flow? Okay, just
Voluntary hyperventilation
Yes.
decreases the amount of the carbon dioxide in the blood.
Right.
So the blood which is going towards the brain has less carbon dioxide.
right.
And simultaneously more oxygen is provided to the brain tissue. So there is a vasoconstriction as the amount of demand of the brain tissue is satisfied by autoregulation.
Okay, the judges just want you to tell us very simply, 1-2 words, what causes the vasoconstriction that you mentioned? What causes it? You mentioned vasoconstriction, right? What causes it?
Decrease in the amount of the NO,
And not what?
nitric oxide,
Nitric oxide?
and adenosine also.
Adenosine? Answer is, wait. Okay, I'm sorry. We have to penalize one mark because I haven't said anything yet. Okay, so there's a penalty. Answer is wrong. Yeah. Yeah, I'm so sorry.
The
Yeah.
cerebral blood flow will decrease because the hypocapnia.
Hypocapnia, that's correct. Yeah, it's the low CO2. Okay, so it's the hypocapnic vasoconstriction of the cerebral arterioles. Yeah. Okay, audience. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. What property of the muscle length tension characteristic in the urinary bladder enables the bladder to serve its storage function? What property of the muscle length tension characteristic in the urinary bladder enables the bladder to serve its storage function?
Excuse me, I just want to ask you, if you want to ask the function of the muscle to make the bladder to save more urine, right?
That's basically what I'm asking, I think. Yeah.
Okay, fine. My answer is, for the urine bladder itself, the most muscle in the bladder could just press less, so that the volume of the bladder could expand. And this function is due to the sympathetic nerve innervated.
The sympathetic, you say?
Yes, sympathetic.
Yeah, answer is wrong. Yes,
Plasticity of the smooth muscle.
that's correct, yeah. Yeah, it's a smooth muscle, length tension relationship, which is no definite relationship, which we sometimes describe as smooth muscle plasticity. Okay, the fourth question to Shizo, am I right? State the condition how spatial summation occur in relation to an IPSP and an EPSP. I repeat, state the condition for how spatial summation occur in relation to an IPSP and an EPSP.
When the IPSP and EPSP simultaneously occurs as the different parts of the neurons.
That's correct. Yeah, the keyword is given is that it has to be a simultaneous stimulation, and so there is spatial summation. Yeah. Okay, your question is, last question in this second cycle. In the graph showing renal autoregulation of GFR, state the two possible parameters on the y-axis. In the graph showing renal autoregulation of GFR, State the two possible parameters on the y-axis.
Glomerular filtration rate and the renal blood flow.
That's correct. Okay, we are into the third cycle. Check the bells. Okay, right. Your question is, besides the fat content, fat content, state two characteristics in the composition of the chyme that affects gastric emptying. Besides the fat content, state two characteristics in the composition of the chyme that affects gastric emptying.
Acidity of the chyme, first.
Another one?
The acidity of the chyme.
Next one? No? Quickly, yeah?
Osmolarity of the chyme.
That's correct, yeah. Yeah. Okay. There seems to be a drumming sound. Huh? Yeah, is that for the respondent? Yeah. Okay, your question is stimulation of which volume sensor, independent of nerve activity, reduces renin secretion. Stimulation of which volume sensor, independent of nerve activity, reduces the renin secretion.
So, the ANP and the BNP receptors of the heart.
Answer is wrong.
Yes.
Intrarenal baroreceptor.
That's correct. Yeah. This is the intrarenal baroreceptor in the kidney. Yeah. Your question is, what is the cellular physiological mechanism in the neuron for absolute refractory period? What is the cellular physiological mechanism in the neuron for the absolute refractory period?
Are you asking about some channel mechanism, ion channel?
Yeah, you can
and
answer that. Yeah.
And the potential?
The mechanism, how do you explain absolute?
Because in absolute refractory period, the membrane potential inactivates some ion channels so that it keeps in, because it's in a depolarization state.
What kind of channels are they?
Sodium channel.
What kind of specific sodium channels are they?
Voltage gated, voltage dependent sodium channel.
That's correct, yeah. Okay, your question, Shizo? Yeah. Two short answers. In myasthenia gravis, what is the cause of the abnormal neurotransmission? And two, how is the muscle function improved? In myasthenia gravis, what is the cause of the abnormal neurotransmission? And two, how is the muscle function improved?
The first is due to destruction of acetylcholine receptors by antibodies. The second is we can use inhibitor of acetylcholine esterase.
That's correct. Okay, the last the last question? Yeah, it is the last question. Last question in this fourth session before we take a coffee break. State how a decrease in the blood pH can affect plasma potassium. State how a decrease in the blood pH can affect the plasma potassium.
It increased the potassium concentration of the plasma. It increased the plasma concentration of potassium. Decreased pH increases the potassium concentration in plasma.
Can you briefly say how that happens?
So in decreased pH, more H plus is secreted in H plus K plus exchanger. So the K plus is secreted. H plus is secreted. So potassium is conserved.
Okay, we accept your answer. Yeah. So the winning team in this group is CISO. Am I right? Yeah. Yeah, it's CISO Medical College. So I'll pass on to the organizer to make any necessary announcement if they have for the coffee break and what time to come back. Yeah.